In this video, I'm going to give you an overview of the Socrative teacher dashboard. Socrative is a student response system. So it's like having clickers, a set of clickers in your classroom where students can answer questions via the clicker without actually having the set of clickers. Because with Socrative, students can use any web-enabled device in order to access it, which makes it perfect to use with Chromebooks or iPads, or even a student's smartphone can be used to access Socrative. So I've gone ahead and logged into Socrative. I'm going to give you a little tour of the dashboard here. You can see at the top of the page I have my room number. This is the number that students will need to input to access your room. You have one room number when you register for your account. You are assigned a room number and you use that same room number for every single class. Over here on the left hand side I can see that I have 2 students currently in the class. That means 2 students have gone to Socrative.com and entered the room number and they are now in my classroom. I can, as more students enter, I would see that number change over here. I can access the menu, and through the menu I have some different options. I can log out of my account. I can access my profile, which will allow me to change my email address and my password that is associated with Socrative, or I can clear the room. So at the end of the period, if you have students who forget to log out of Socrative, you can actually control that from your dashboard. You can click Clear Room. That'll automatically log everybody out, and then your classroom is set up and ready for the next group of students to come in. We'll go ahead and click Menu to collapse that. You have some different options when using Socrative. You can run it as a quiz. You can ask quick questions, which are questions on the fly. So if you want to gauge whether or not your students are understanding a particular topic at that time, you can throw up a quick question and have them answer it. You can do a space race, which means you can run a quiz as a race, which is a great review activity, also great for working in teams. And then finally, your last option is to do an exit ticket. So you can check your students' understanding. How well did they understand the information that you presented in class as they are leaving? And that could be the last thing that you do at the end of the day. In this video, we're going to take a look at some of those features. In the next video, we'll actually go into Manage Quizzes and create your own quiz. So let's take a look at the quick question option. You'll see that I have 3 choices when I go to quick question. I can ask a multiple choice question, I can ask a true or false question, or a short answer question, which would allow students to input their own answers. Now again, these are questions on the fly, so if you want to gauge whether or not your students are understanding a particular concept that you're discussing, you can throw out a question to the class, turn on a quick question, and allow them to answer it. So for example, let's say we wanted to do a simple true or false question. Okay students, the sky it's a sunny day outside today, true or false? They can look out the window, they can gauge their answer, and as they're submitting the answers, you can see those answers come in on your dashboard. We have 2 of 2 students have answered the question, and both of them have put true, that today it is sunny outside. Now we can ask another quick question, so we can simply stay in this quick question mode and just ask questions repeatedly. For example, if we wanted to do a multiple choice question, we could select that, throw out a multiple choice question, have the students submit their answer. We'd see how they were answering to know whether or not the students, most of the students were understanding the information you were presenting. Now keep in mind, these quick question options give you anonymous feedback, so you don't know which student answered which answer, but it does give you an overall view of how the students in your class as a whole are understanding the information. So when you're done with the quick questions, you'll go ahead and click Finish. The next one, let's go ahead and look at the space race. Now the space race will allow you to use any quiz that you already have created and saved in your account and run it as a game or as a race. So we can select any of our quizzes, and we can decide how many teams that we want. So again, with this option, not every student has to have their own device, but if they did, so you could group them together. So maybe we want to have teams of 2. We can auto-assign the colors, or we can allow the students to choose their own colors. So we'll auto-assign. We'll go ahead and start the activity so that you can see what this looks like. Each team is assigned a rocket, and as they answer the questions, the rocket moves across, and they can kind of see who's winning. So as the answers come in, if the students get the answer right, their rocket ship will move across the row here. And the one who gets to the end first is the winner. Now when you're done, you can go ahead and click Finish. It will ask you if you want a report. You can either have a report emailed to you, you can download a report, or choose no report. And the report just tells you how many questions each student got right. So we'll go ahead and do no report here. The exit ticket is great to use at the end of class to gauge how well your students understood the information that you presented in class. So as the students are answering the questions, we can see a little synopsis here. When we're done, we can go ahead and click Finish. And again, we can view a report in several different options. If we look at the email, if we have the report emailed to us, it'll be emailed to the address that you have on file, and then you can see how each student answered each of the questions. The last option is to start a quiz, and with the quiz feature, these are quizzes that you have already developed and saved. You can select which quiz that you want, and you can start it. You have several different options. You can do student paced, which means the student takes the quiz at their own pace and they can receive immediate feedback. Student navigation means that they have the ability to edit questions, skip questions, and navigate the quiz in their own way, so they can go back and forth in the quiz. Once they've completed the questions, they submit the entire assessment. Now you also have some additional settings down here, so you can disable the student names, you can randomize the question order, which is great because then students can't just look off of somebody else's devices and see which answer they're putting because their answers might be different. You can also randomize the answer order on that. The last one is the teacher paced option, and with teacher paced, that means you have control. You push the questions out when you want the students to answer the next one, and that's nice because then you can have a little time to review the answers with the students and have a discussion about those answers. When I'm done, I can go back to the dashboard, and in the next video we'll talk about how to create a quiz, and we'll go into and look at the manage quiz options.